My name is George. We're at the OHSU hospital. This is where I spent most of my childhood. I was born with a life-threatening disease called cystic fibrosis. It's a lung disease. The doctors didn't test my poop or my pee before I left home, so I went home without pooping, and my mom and my dad thought something was going on with me because I was crying. It seemed like I had a stomach ache. And so they took me into the hospital, and they couldn't hear any bowels in my stomach, and I had a perforated intestine. So they put a colostomy bag on me, and they told my parents that I would be alive for only 3 days. Came to it. I survived 3 months. That was for them to be able to take a sweat gland test, and they found out that I had cystic fibrosis. So my life as a child was pretty rough. I always had to go through some health issues. Growing up, I was always on treatments, doing breathing treatments, going to the hospital. This is where I spent most of the time. I would go home for about a couple months, come back, and stay 3 weeks. This is a repeated pattern my whole entire childhood. As I got older, I started to realize that this was pretty serious. Kids were making fun of me all the time because I was coughing. The whole stomach issue thing. I'm not able to process enzymes. My pancreas doesn't let me produce the enzymes that I need to digest my food. So I was constantly having diarrhea. There's been times where I've diarrheaed in my pants at school, and people would make fun of me all the time. So that was just traumas always going through my head with my health issues. I've always felt different, not healthy. I couldn't breathe ever. And it kind of just made me grow up very quickly, because coming to the hospital all the time, I was being reminded, hey, your lungs are at this level, they're so low. And my age expectancy was 27. That's how long I was going to be alive. Being a kid, knowing that you're going to die at an early age, it does something to you. It really does grow you up quickly, because you're going to pass away before anybody else. Just knowing that was going through my head while I'm being made fun of all these things. It's constant anxiety, and it was always a mask that I've had to put on my face. I've always wanted to express myself and cry and do all that, but I knew it wouldn't get me anywhere, because I'm still gonna die. This is the hallway that I used to be able to walk around in and go eat in the cafeteria. And then those windows right there with the stickers, I was on the other side of those for 3 weeks at a time. It's just crazy being here now, knowing I'm not in those. Around 5 or 6 years old, I went through another trauma. I was sexually abused by an older male in my family. That really put a toll on me. I was pretty confused, scared. I wanted to say something to my mom and my dad, but being that young, I already knew that it would probably tear my family apart. And I didn't want my dad thinking that I was gay or I was a failure to him. And my dad is a pretty big guy. He's aggressive. I knew if I did say something, he'd probably end up killing him. And I didn't want my dad going to prison. So there was a lot going on there. emotionally with myself as well. I've always had to put another mask on, you know. It was another mask of pretty much hiding the fact that that happened and act like I was okay. I always put a smile on my face. This sun right here is the wing that I went. This is the cystic fibrosis wing. With all of this going on, to this day, I still have problems with anxiety and stuff. Knowing that that happened to me, I know what older people are capable of, and now what I do is I scan people around me, and if there's kids around, that's what I look for. Is this guy that kind of guy? Is this lady this kind of lady? Is he or she gonna do this to this kid? And it messes with my head to the point where when I'm around kids, I'm hoping that they're not looking at me like that. And it really messes with your head. It's very hectic inside. There's always this noise in your head going on. I grew up with a drug-addicted family. I'd say 80% of my family is all drug addicts, alcoholics. All these problems that are going on, and being involved in the environment of drugs and alcohol, I've always had hands on it, even as a kid. I started drinking at 12 years old, and it wasn't just a sip here and a sip there. I was actually really drinking, hiding it in my room. My family used to give it to me. They used to say, hey, take this upstairs and go have fun while the adults have fun. And that was a constant pattern. My dad was an alcoholic. Watching him kind of made me feel like it was okay. That's how I kind of solved all these problems, was just drinking. And, on top of that, my dad was a very aggressive, abusive person. I always got whooped for no apparent reason, just because he's having a bad day. I always had to look at how his facial expressions were, what his vibes were, because I didn't know what I was getting, Whenever he pulled up from work, I didn't know if I was going to be in trouble or not. I didn't know if I was going to get whooped. I didn't know if he was going to give me the silent treatment. I didn't know what was happening. I was always on guard. And I basically, I just masked everything. I was always on guard. Everything around me was this circle going super fast, and I could never actually just sit down and take a break. And that's why I just started drinking. And drinking became into, opiates, and I started smoking weed heavy with my friends. Came into Molly. Molly ruined my life. That was in high school. I thought I was cool, selling drugs in school, and I had a lot of money. And then as soon as I touched Molly, everything just went down the drain. I lost all my money. I lost most of my friends. And then I became this isolated person, very by myself. Didn't want to talk to nobody. Started getting into relationships now, and they also cheated on me. That, wasn't feeling right. Man, I'm rambling now. My entire life, I've been hit with all these problems, thinking that, God did this to me. Why did he do this to me? And I was very mad at him. And it was kind of hard to believe that he was even true, because why would he do this to somebody? And, later on in life, it was about 6 months ago, I was doing some whippets inside my bed, and I got, the big, huge whippet canister, and that's kind of what I usually do, is I do big canister whippets every day and drink. And there was one night that I was in my bed, and I was hitting the whippets so much to the point where I was gagging, and I was sleeping with it in my bed. And I was continuing to hit it, even though I was gagging and I was completely full of gas, nitrous oxide. And I just kept wanting it. Why? And so that next morning, I wrote a goal list, and I said that I wanted to build a relationship with God. And I went on a couple weeks, and someone gave me a devotions book, and I started reading a couple pages here and there. And this is the time where I began my own business, and I was on my own. I quit my job. I just started this business. And I looked up in the sky from dumping the truck one day, and I just realized, like, man, I'm doing all this on my own, and where I was before, I had all these problems. I was a very angry and depressed person, and I got this big in my face, and I looked up to God and I said, thank you so much, God. I know this is you. You answered my prayers. And I immediately felt relieved. All this anxiety and anger and stress, all these things that I carried in me from all these years have finally just left. And I felt clean. It gave me tears of joy, and I've never ever had tears of joy in my life. I had the biggest smile on my face, and I was crying. And there was some person that came up next to me that I went to school with, and he knew my truck, and he's like, George, I have tears in my eyes. I'm like, I'm not crying because I'm sad. These are tears of joy. And it was just an amazing feeling. And that's when I began my journey with God. I went to high school with this girl. Her friend was my girlfriend, and her boyfriend used to be my friend. We all hung out for a while, in school. Years went by after we graduated, and we came back to each other and started talking, and we ended up getting together. She already had a boy, and it ended up being my best friend's son. The father is not in the life. He's out on drugs and doesn't communicate whatsoever. So really my nephew is my son now. My relationship with my wife was very toxic. There was issues that she had with her life, and issues with mine, and with our own relationships, being cheated on and stolen from and lied to all the time. We kind of put those problems on each other. And me being an alcoholic, I was drinking all the time, and all the things that we said to each other that were very hurtful. When I was drunk, I was a monster. I took it all out on her. I was very sensitive with the things that she said that brought up my past. And we got physical with each other multiple times. And there was one night where I came home drunk, super late, got physical, punched a hole in my son's door, and the cops came. They picked me up, and they went in the house, and they asked if I had any weapons, and my son, he was only 6 years old, said, "Daddy's gun's in the couch." Went to jail for domestic violence, and I wasn't able to go home for 3 months. And all of this because I was drunk. When I woke up the next day in jail, all of those emotions that I had when I was drunk were gone. I just wanted to be with my wife. I just wanted to be with my son. I was very upset with myself. I was in there, and the one person that I got into an argument with was the one person that I wanted to be with when I got out. And I had to go to treatment. I had to do all these things. And I changed a little bit. I did. I definitely changed. But after a while, I kind of went back to the same routine. The whole physical violence part wasn't the way that it was. It was just me drinking still. It was me being an ass, doing things that I probably shouldn't do. It took me a while. Go ahead. It took me a while to get where I am today. And honestly, I still have problems with drinking and stuff, but we all have that. We all go through it. Even when you're walking with God, you're not going to be perfect, and He's not going to do it just like that. You have to do work too. You have to have faith. You have to believe in Him. You have to do what He says and not justify things and think, oh, well, He's putting it this. No, exactly what He says is exactly what you do. And I'm learning that. But ever since I've started walking this journey with God, I've had an amazing relationship with my wife and my son. I am nowhere near who I was 6 months ago, or even a few years back. I'm so thankful that God has changed my life and made me a better husband, a better father, and I continue to be this way. Growing up with my dad was very tough to manage. Always walking on eggshells with him. I will say my dad was present though. My dad was present. He was there for me. But he had his own problems, and his childhood wasn't very good either. So he kind of just did what he was taught to me. And, always being smacked around and whooped. My dad used to say, stop being a more hurtful version of wuss. And he always used to say, grab your privates and suck it up. And so it did teach me to do that. It did teach me to have drive, keep going, don't quit, push myself. And that's why I am who I am today, because he did that. And I am thankful for that. But all this time, I didn't know that. I didn't know that I was going to be thankful for it. I wasn't awake like I am now. God woke me up and showed me these things now. It was only about a year ago that I hated my dad still. But I worked for him. And when I worked for him, I didn't like anything he said. Everything he said was not true. He didn't do it the right way. I was constantly calling him out on stuff, and it was a constant battle between him and I at our job. But eventually I just said I quit. And so I quit. And we were upset with each other. Time goes by that I start my own business. And that is when I met God. Around the time that I was working with my dad is the time that my dad actually started to change. He was a very big believer in Jesus Christ. He still is. He was slowly changing, but I couldn't see those things. But he was changing, and he was always in my ear saying, George, you just need to listen to the Lord. George, you need to come to church with me. George, you need to come do this. You need to come do that. And I always said, no, I don't want to. And it's just crazy how this whole time I've been saying no. But it's like, I wonder where I'd be at if I said yes back then. And it's just like amazing to see that my dad changed that much, It showed me that I can change too. And everything that he changed with parenting on me, even though he's older now, it made me want to change with my son. Because everything that my dad taught me and how he raised me is how I raised my son. So it shows me that I need to be a better dad to my son. Dealing with all these emotions and everything my whole life, I've always been in counseling. I've been through many medications to try and solve it, and nothing ever worked. Until 6 months ago, I met God and I entered the Celebrate Recovery. Everything has changed. all those problems that I had, it's taken care of now. And it's all because of God. Men don't just regularly get up into groups and start preaching about their vulnerabilities. You know, they keep it to themselves. And that's how you know that God's real, because we're all gathering here because of God, and we're all releasing all of our information to each other so that we can relate and solve each other's problems. And it's awesome. It's like I've never felt comfortable doing that, but knowing that God is behind all of us in that room makes it way better. He is our psychiatrist. You know, he is taking care of our problems. He's here to show us love between one another. And it's beautiful, and I really strongly encourage you guys to go. I'm just thankful for God. Thankful for what he does for me every day. All this time, you know, I've always thought that he wasn't there for me, but he was. He definitely was. I think what he did was that he gave me all of the problems that he could in the beginning to see if I could fight through them, and I showed him I did. And now I'm free. I'm free of all those problems. I'm loving life. I'm enjoying everything now. I see what he wants me to do, and I'm so thankful that he even gives me the opportunity to go through that. I'm trying every single day to be better, trying every single day to be a better husband, better father, better friend, just a better human being in general. I want to be more like him and less like myself. And man, I just can't be more thankful enough to be here. I love you, God.